take my people out of poverty and bring them back to reality with Dr. Friday. You must think me a
1 2 1 2.
mash up the whole country. Them wreck it and mash it up like a vehicle. Them don't give a damn about poor people. When poor people sick, we a kick the bucket. But when them they sick, them fly out pamphlet. Sit down in a office and a drink champagne and a think about how figure chick we a give. You only see them when election come. Come a rum shop, come bribe with rum. When election
1 2.
come, them cannot be found.
Check. Oh.
Like clown, just a sin we wrong like Mary go wrong. Frustration and beating we head like John. But patches did say in a one of him song.
Yeah. Yeah. 1.
Me now vote Labour Party. Your mother now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Thing I ever see. And when me say me now vote Labour Party. You're crazy. Now support Labour Party. Your mother. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party, I mash up the whole of my sweet SVG. Imagine, people who pack up and fly down a ferry. They say they can't take a condition we live in.
Yeah, 1 2. Oh, 2.
We can't buy rice and we can't
Check 1 2. Oh.
buy milk and we can't buy a tin. The prices them does make we head spin. And the government them nah do nothing. Vincentian wake up when the bell ring. Time to get back SVG working. You not see a one set of people who are win. And the rest of Vincentian suffering. Now that election is approaching, them a fix up road, house, roof and kitchen. Them a give we manure, them a give we planting. Everybody know how the truth me a sing. Time to get back SVG working. Time to get back SVG working. Hey, me now vote Labour Party. Now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour ending for Ndp, the New Democratic Party. Come to take my people out of poverty and bring them back to reality with Dr. Friday. You must think me a fool for vote ULP. After them done mash up the whole country. Them wreck it and mash it up like a vehicle. Them don't give a damn about poor people. When poor people sick, we a kick the bucket. But when them they sick, them fly out pamphlet. Sit down in a office and a drink champagne and a think about how figure chick we a give. You only see them when election come. Come a rum shop, come bribe with rum. When election done, them cannot be found. Treating Vincentians like clown. Just a spin we wrong like Mary go wrong. Frustration a beating we head like John. But patches did say in a one of him song. One day the kingdom a come down. Me now vote Labour Party. Your mother now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party the worst thing I ever see. And when me say me now vote Labour Party. You're crazy. Now support Labour Party. Your mother. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party I mash up the whole of me sweet SVG. Imagine people who pack up and fly down a ferry. They say they can't take a condition we live in. Down in the supermarket is a sin. We can't buy rice and we can't buy chicken. We want buy a milk and we can't buy a tin. The prices them does make we head spin. And the government them nah do nothing. Vincentian wake up when the bell ring. Time to get back SVG working. You not see a one set of people who are win. And the rest of Vincentian suffering. Now that election is approaching, them a fix up road, house, roof and kitchen. Them a give we manure, them a give we planting. Everybody know how the truth me a sing. Time to get back SVG working. Time to get back SVG working. Hey, me now vote Labour Party. Now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party the worst thing I ever see. And when me say me now vote Labour Party. Now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party I mash up the whole of me sweet SVG. Them gone, them gone, them gone, them gone. Sit down in a office for way too long. Them gone, them gone, them gone. Sit down in a office and I mash up we land. Them gone, them gone, them gone. Sit down in a office for way too long. Them gone, them gone, them gone. Sit down in a office and I mash up we land. Me now vote Labour Party. You must be mad. Now support Labour Party. You're crazy. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party the worst thing I ever see. And when me say me now vote Labour Party. You must be mad. Now support Labour Party. Me now vote Labour Party. Labour Party I mash up the whole and me sweet SPG. So don't forget this election, they go out and vote them out. Don't forget, make sure you get registered. Yeah man, mark your X next to the key. And let we get rid of ULP for once and for all. Labor gone!
Tony Tube. Tony Tube. Turn up the music. Yes, sir.
Man and them like fall out the street, so turn it up. Turn up the music. Too long know them have the people who are suffer. Too long them have like garbage in a gutter. Too long them sit down in a office and a hotter. We still a enjoy bread and can't buy butter. Too long no we not see no they pay. Too long the boss sitting in the kitchen empty. Too long the youths them out the street hungry. Can't see no food nor no money. When me say, and this a one and them for people songs, so turn it up. Turn up the music. And tell me how them a go ban this a one, then turn it up. People can't find food to eat, so turn it up. Turn up the music. A man and them like fall out the street, then turn it up. Can't afford to pay, feed them school fee. Say we jump out of school then, yeah. No work, no day, belly empty. Can't see a 10 or a 20. Mama don't have no food in she kitchen. Can't buy rice when you talk about chicken. Seems like the backyard stop go pumpkin. Can't find flour, we go make fried dumpling. No one hears the hungry cry. No one shares with them piece of pie. No one cares when poor people die. And no one dares the man's hard lie. Tell them say, and this a one and them poor people songs. So turn it up, turn up the music. And tell me how them a go ban this a one, then turn it up. Alright, poor people can't find food to eat, so turn it up, turn up the music. A man and them like fall out the streets, then turn it up. They don't know what it feels like, or what it seems like. We no eat no food for morning. Don't know what it hurts like, or what it sounds like. We have to hear another belly they yarning. Don't know what it is like, or what it tastes like. We have to eat the next man leaving. Don't know what we live like. They don't know our life. So no matter when you hear them preaching, tell them say, this a one and them poor people songs. So turn it up, turn up the music. And tell me how them a go ban this a one, then turn it up. All the poor people can't find food to eat. So turn it up, turn up the music. Man and them like fall out the streets. So turn it up. England, wherever you live, you know, how can cost a living be higher than the salary? That's right, that's right. You know the vibes, you know the vibes. Yeah. Well, this a one of them poor people songs. So turn it up, turn up the music. And tell me how them a go ban this a one, then turn it up, turn up the music. Poor people can't find food to eat, so turn it up, turn up the music. A man and them like fall out the street, then turn it up, turn up the music. Too long know them have the people who are suffer. Too long them have like garbage in a gutter. Too long them sit down in a office and a hotter. And we still an enjoy bread and can't buy butter. Too long no we not see no they pay. Too long the boss in the kitchen empty. Too long the youths them out the street hungry. Can't see no food nor no money. When me say, and this a one of them poor people song, then turn it up, turn up the music. Tell me how them a go ban this a one, then turn it up, turn up the music. Poor people can't find food to eat, so turn it up, turn up the music. A man and them like fall out the street, then turn it up, turn up the music. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. This is the voice of the NDP. One, two, testing. And we are coming to you from Great House, and tonight we're going to present to you our policies and so. Yeah, we have big hit all about the place, and this system is not a joke system, you know. All out honest, well, somebody just call me and say they're hearing it. They laugh. Good night. we're gonna start in the next 5 minutes. Say something. Say, talk, baby. Give me a note, no man.
Yes. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to this our meeting, and to start us, this is one of our many West Kingstown village meetings where we come out to meet the people and bring the issues to you. I want to start our proceedings by inviting the presence of God. And to do that, I would ask Mr. Igal Adams to lead us in a word of prayer. Igal.
Thank you very much, Abby. And invite you, wherever you are, to just join me. Bow your heads, close your eyes, let us lift our hearts heavenwards. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy holy name. Once more, we, your children, want to give you praise and thanks for yet another opportunity afforded us, whereby we can come to another constituency in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and another part of a constituency to bring the message of hope and change that St. Vincent and the Grenadines so desperately need. We invite your Holy Spirit's presence to be with us at this time. We pray that you may protect us from accident, harm, and danger. Beat back the forces of darkness from around this place, and let your power be manifested here. We pray for the speakers tonight who will deliver the messages. We pray that as the messages go forth, that the people will accept them and they will be able to see a better way, so that on that day when the decision is to be made, they will make the decision that will cause a change throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I pray for the representative of this area, Honorable Daniel Cummins. I pray that you may continue to bless him and keep him, and help that he will continue to represent the people of this area well. And he will even do so better when he is in government after the next general elections. We commit this meeting into your hands. We pray that if there are any others on the way, that you will bring them here safely. And at the end of the day, everyone would say it was good that we were at this meeting. Bless us and keep us now, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. At this point, I would like us to give national anthem, please. National anthem. Thank you. Well done. Honorable Daniel Cummins, Chairman of the New Democratic Party, Vice President, Honorable Sinclair Leacock, General Secretary of the party, Mr. Brenton Smith, Treasurer, Mrs. Luan Hadaway, Mr. Harvey Farrell, Assistant General Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We of the NDP, at this moment, this country is at the crossroads. This country is in turmoil. Mr. Terence Olivier, my apologies, sorry. Mr. Terence Olivier, representative of, thank you, Zainai. Thank you, Zainai. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, at present, this country is in serious problems. After 25 years of a Unity Labour Party government, we are going backwards. This country was once fruitful and productive under an NDP government. And something happened. We changed that government and we put the Unity Labour Party in power. And it has been dunghill ever since. Financially, crime has risen. St. Vincent is almost a failed state. And the NDP has put together a team, in my opinion, it's the best team of candidates that has ever come before an electorate for an election. And these people are committed. These people are committed to try, to save St. Vincent from the problems that we are facing. There are plans. I have been following this party. And there are so much plans. There is hope for this country. And that hope could only be realized under a new Democratic Party. So I adore you, ladies and gentlemen, to listen to the speakers as they put forward the plans to save St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Over time, you would hear the different speaker tell you, give you ideas how we could go. And to kick us off, I want to ask our first speaker tonight, Mr. Harvey Farrell, to give us a few words as to how St. Vincent could be salvaged. Ladies and gentlemen, Harvey Farrell.
Thank you, Chairman Abby. And permit me to adopt the protocol that you have already established. Colleagues, good night. Great House, good night. The couple of minutes I have on platform, I just want us to have a very brief discussion. And we will look just at a few things that over the years have impacted our lives and continues to impact our lives negatively under this ULP administration. I don't believe I can stand on any platform without mentioning the draconian COVID mandate that Ralph Gonsalves went in the stealth of the night and introduced as a plague on us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that mandate is worse than COVID itself. Worse than COVID itself. I am quite sure that all of you within the sound of my voice have seen that interview that Kenton Chance of Eyewitness News did with a teacher from Layu. Very heart-wrenching indeed. And I am quite sure that that interview touched you to the core. But you know what? That young man and his son are not the only victims. We have many like him. Many like him. And I am quite sure that you, each of us here, knows somebody or some family that has been so negatively impacted. We are saying here at the NDP, we cannot allow this administration to go on and have such a crime unpunished. You, here in Great House, you owe that to yourself. Never again should we have to go through something like this. But you are the ones who will have to send the message to Ralph Gonsalves and his Merrybund. You have to let them know that no longer would we will be tolerating behavior like that. But you know what? It's worse. They still have the law on the books. So tomorrow or any other time, as they feel free, they can invoke that law. We cannot allow them to sit in office to do things like that to us ever again. I hope you folks here in Great House will send that message when you go to the polls. That wicked vaccine mandate, they must pay for it. Let me hustle on to talk now about the NIS. And I say, this conversation about the NIS is a very serious one. As I look here, most of the persons who are standing here are quite young. So you might be saying to yourself, I don't have anything. The NIS is down the road for me, man. That's going to take a long time. But let me tell you this. When the time comes for you to get a pension, Ralph Gonsalves will be long gone. If we leave him there to continue to destroy the NIS, you will have no pension to get, but he will be long gone. And he would have been singing 6 and 7 in a row. Do you want that? Do you want that? Let me tell you something about the NIS. The NIS is not like a tax. That is not what it is. It is you making a contribution. You are investing your money for when you can no longer work. When you can no longer work, you need that money. If you allow any government to mess it up, it means that you will not have that money for your pension when you can no longer work. By then, when you look around, it might be too late. You cannot allow Ralph Gonsalves to continue to stay there and dip his hand in NIS money. They borrowed NIS money and built a hotel in Diamonds. The hotel is up for sale today. We are not going to see the returns on that hotel in your time and my time. We're not seeing that exactly without a kitchen. Well, Daniel will tell you all about these roads. I'm not talking about the roads tonight. Daniel will tell you all about them. And you know them. So, for two things, your NIS that you need when you can no longer work. And let me tell you something, quickly. You see your NIS? Ralph Gonsalves has increased the amount of contributions, the number of contributions you have to make. He has also increased the amount of money. Now, the employer, your employer pays 7%, you pay 6%. That's an added expense to you. That's an added expense to you. And you know what? It takes you longer before you can reach your age to collect a pension. But let me tell you something. The amount of contributions you have to make, for those of you who only work part-time, whether it's a fortnight on the road cleaning program, or every now and again you get a hole on here, so and a hole on there, so. If you continue to work like that, under this administration, you will never, ever live to receive a pension. Because you would have to work until you're 94 or 95 before you can you qualify for a pension. Do you need that? Folks here in Great House, I want you to hear me and hear me well. That we cannot allow Ralph Gonsalves to continue. We cannot allow him to continue to dip his hand in NIS money. Please pay attention before it is too late. As I wrap up, I just want you again to be reminded of that wicked vaccine mandate. We must not allow the ULP to get away with it. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Yeah, let's hear it for Harvey again. The whole country is in disaster. A state of disrepair. So much neglected infrastructure. Abandonment everywhere. We need an urgent intervention. And a party with empathy. If you want to lift up your country, give your ex to the NDP. So much young people doing road work. You deserve better, you should know. Oh no, I can't take no more. Time for Labour Party to go. Be a millionaire when you touch.
All right, DJ. All right.
All right. We'll get some more of that later. Modo. We'll get some more of the model later. I heard Mr. Farrell mention about the NIS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this NIS thing is a serious thing. When you make your contribution into the NIS fund, and you expect, well, in my case, I was told when I joined the service that when I am 60 years, I would be eligible for my NIS. And when I reached 60 and I applied for my NIS, I was told that if I want it at 60, because they say 60 only, they move up the age. If I want it at 60, I would lose 6% for every year only. So they were telling me that I had to work until I'm 62. So I lost 12%. But the irony of that is that I retired at 55 years of age. So it took me 7 years waiting, and they take off 12% from my NIS. And on top of that, there are people who would be going longer than me. Some of you have to go 65 and 70. And imagine 6% a year. You might end up with little or nothing. So when you go to the polls, remember that. There's a case, I remember in the days of NDP, when road workers, there was a program you call 100 days, where people used to work 100 days and you get a little bonus. And that was more money to pay into the NIS so that you could benefit. Now they cut it down to 8 days. So you can't even contribute enough, and they're taking off the little thing that you get. There's a case again where a man owed the NIS, I think, $14 million, owed the NIS, and borrow 14 million from the NIS to pay the 14 million. I don't know how that maths they end up. I know how that end up till now, but vote us, vote the NDP, and we're going to find out how your 14 million went for you. Please. Please and thanks. At this point, I want to introduce the General Secretary of the New Democratic Party, Mr. Brenton Smith, to give you a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Brenton Smith. Don't mash up this land. They go ban the belly and ball, cause they're not winning back at all.
Vice President Major Sinclair Ricock, the man who is responsible for internal matters within the NDP, Honorable Daniel Cummins, Chairman of our party and area representative, Honorable Terence Olivier from the Southern Grenadines, nice to have you in West Kingstown. My assistant, Secretary General, Mr. Harvey Farrell, my very hard-working treasurer, Mrs. Luan Hathaway, other members of the executive, members of constituents of Great House and West Kingstown, good evening. I don't know, maybe because of its importance, that Brother Harvey had almost the same message like I did. But it's so important that I think it is necessary for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be reminded of this wicked vaccine mandate that this administration put on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in fact, Harvey reminded us that in the wee hours of the morning, that this vaccine mandate was put on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You also made mention recently, and I had to watch it very early in the morning, where Eyewitness News highlighted the struggles of a dedicated teacher who is facing immense difficulties in sending his child to school while trying to make ends meet. This teacher, like many others, have been caught in the crossfire of a policy that has left him feeling helpless and overwhelmed. His story is a testament to the challenges that many of us are enduring. I can personally relate to these struggles. I too was fired from my job after 27 years as a policeman due to the vaccine mandate, which resulted in the loss of my insurance benefits. To survive, I had to turn my bedroom into an apartment just to ensure my bills are paid and to keep a roof over my head. This drastic change was not something I ever envisioned for myself, but it became a necessity in these trying times. Moreover, I have witnessed many teachers resorting to selling popsicles on the streets of Kingstown just to make ends meet. I love popsicles, nothing is wrong with that. But I tell you of the difficulties and the transition that they undergo. These individuals who dedicated their lives to educating our children are now forced to take on additional burdens to provide for their families. It is heartbreaking to see our educators, who should have been celebrated and supported, struggling to survive. Let me say also that the New Democratic Party has not forgotten its promise and will reinstate all workers who have been fired by this wicked government with full benefits. And as the Major will say, on day one of an NDP government, just return to work. Well, Major, my uniform is still home. So I'll prepare it. Thank you. Those who took the vaccine, the handcuffs are also there, Major. Those who took the vaccine, not by their own will, but was forced to do so to save your jobs. I know many of you are now experiencing health issues since taking this substance. I have heard of numerous ills being experienced. Your lives are not what it used to be. Tonight, I wish to encourage you to vote this government out of office for this very reason. This piece of legislation should be repealed because you can imagine another pandemic occurs and you are forced again to take another vaccine. Well, in fact, the man say that if a next pandemic come, what want me do? Well, since he run out of ideas and he don't have any vision another method of dealing with it, then let them give way so that the New Democratic Party can deal with these issues and many more challenges that we are facing. You know, I happen to look at an ad that is running, and I feel sorry for the man, because the only thing I see in that ad is an old, tired, run-down gentleman who need to go somewhere up in gas and relax himself. But I tell you this, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will have their say in weeks to come. I can guarantee you that. The second issue I wish to speak on is the political bribe taking place during this time. The handing out of lumber, galvanized money, and even planting to bribe the vulnerable among us is a sad case. Let me be clear. If this government offers you $5,000, it may seem like a lifeline at first. However, can you truly survive on that amount for the next 5 years? Especially given the skyrocketing cost of living. When you break it down, $5,000, it amounts to $83.33 per month. Think about it. $83.33 per month. Now let's consider the reality of this situation. With the rising cost of basics in life, like food, housing, clothing, healthcare, $83.33 a month is hardly enough to cover even the basic expenses. In fact, many of us know that the average monthly cost of living far exceeds this amount. Rent alone can consume a significant portion of that $83.33, leaving little to nothing for food, transportation, and other essential needs. How can you really buy in the supermarket anything at all with $83? So what does this mean for us? It means that this government is not providing real solutions. They are merely offering temporary fix to distract us from their failures. We cannot allow ourselves to be bought with short-term handouts while our future remains uncertain. We must demand accountability and real change. We deserve a government that prioritizes our well-being and invests in sustainable solutions for our future and all of our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, you are to ensure that your name is on the voters list and that you are registered to vote. If you don't do that, then you can be a part of the change in which we are asking you for. But before I close, it will be best of me if I didn't tell you how much I admire and respect the next man who is going to be in cabinet. He's been in parliament before, he's in parliament now. But he'll be in cabinet under NDP government, making a significant contribution to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is the Honorable Daniel Cummins. He reminds me of my very good friend. And may his soul rest in peace. But how can we forget him? The Honorable John Horn. A great man who have contributed significantly to the people of West Kingstown. So I have no doubt, and by listening to Chairman Cummins in our meeting for the love and the passion that he has for the people of West Kingstown and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I have no doubt tonight that this gentleman is going to deliver for the people of West Kingstown and all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I can't wait for this change, because with him, he have among him a leader who have assembled one of the better team ever in the political lifetime of St. Vincent and Grenadines and the NDP. We all ought to be proud of that. And I'm quite certain that we all going to deliver for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you very much, and may God continue to bless us all.
Let's hear it for Brenton. Thank you, Brenton. Let's hear it for Brenton. NDP. Are we singing? We bad. Bad.
Oh yeah, we wanted to run this country for we. Dr. Friday. Oh yeah, we wanted to run this country for we.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we see at this point the ULP is busy constructing all kind of thing in St. Vincent and Grenadines. A temporary government, busy. I remember about 5 years ago, they said they're building 2 temporary schools out by the, well, whatever city, they say modern, but whatever city. And guess what? The 2 plywood school is still there 5 years later. Everything is temporary. Every government institution moving and all of that. But I can tell them something. They build a new port, we gonna run it. They build a hospital, we gonna run it, and we gonna fix up Milton K2, and we gonna run it and make it better without grace. At this point, without grace, we run in the hospital, we bring in health care as you have never seen it before in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of being taught in grammar school by a distinguished gentleman. And I am always proud to mention that he taught me English language. And this is a man that is loved in his constituency. This is a man that is going to champions your cause right now. And I can't wait to see him in government, taking a forward and a leading step in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great honor and great pleasure in welcoming the Major.
Solid as a rock, solid as a rock, solid as a rock. My love, it's as solid as a rock. I can't stop. If you're asking me, will my love ever be? Well, you know I tell you truthfully. It has got no age, no beginning, no end. Won't slip, won't slide, no break, no bend. Oh, let me tell you now, my love, it's as solid as a rock, solid as a rock, solid as a rock. Oh, honey, my love, it's as solid as a rock.
You love that? Solid as a rock. New Democratic Party, West Kingstown, Central Kingstown. Good night, Great House. Good night, Lomans. Good night, West Kingstown. A special good night to my political twin,
Daniel Cummings, colleague, Honorable Terence Oliver. I understand that he came up from Union Island, he swim half and he get a boat right for the other half. I say, hold, I didn't say it's a fact, but he always trying to put me in a gumbo boat to come up here, but I'm glad he come up here and, but boy, you could have rent the small boat from Storm. Anyhow, tonight not for that. Tonight is not for that. I want to thank my colleagues before, Secretary General Smith. Let me tell you, that uniform you have home to wait to get the money, you have to press it, You don't just come and say you had it home for the last 3 years. And then NDP win and you go on downtown. Because I don't ever, you have the boots there? Oh, well, you got to go. You got to go. But remember, even though I say return to work the first day, Dr. Friday, the Prime Minister. So I don't know if it's 1 day holiday, 2 days holiday, but you have a listen out. The first working day, go back to your work. And you're good to go. Our treasurer is here. Let me recognize her. My constituency chairman is here and the deputy, Kenny Regis. Let me recognize them. I don't go anywhere without my small posse. Zan, hi. He's here also. And we have a nice gathering in West Kingstown. I had to be here tonight to lend support to Daniel. Because we have been in the wilderness years, as they call it now, for near 20 plus years. And it is not easy to endure. Not easy at all. As a matter of fact, in the parliament yesterday, well, Daniel didn't take my lead. I had 3 questions to ask. And when I see our school keeping, I say, me, boy, today? Not me and them. So I just tell the speaker what I wanted to ask. And I took back my 3 questions. But to each his own, Daniel asked his question and he asked it of the woman who wants to run against. No, not the woman who wants. Somebody answered him. Let me get my facts right. Daniel can tell you the whole story just now. All I want to tell you, it has taken the same time that it took to build the port in Kingstown 3 years to build a toilet down at Lomansby. Because right now they're still in the drawing and design stage. I don't know if it's a 1 room or 2 room toilet they're building. If you're going to have toilet and bath in it, porch. But they said it will be finished next year, October. When the fisherman, they out there. So if you have anything to eat, just hold it, match the big toe, always make sure you have on the socks there because sometimes things could get tight when that belly pain comes. Tonight, I'm doing this meeting and then I'm going up to Richland Park to be background vocals in the next meeting. But I want to share my experience in the parliament yesterday with you. Many don't listen to the parliament because you have come to the conclusion it's a waste of time. In some regards, you're right. For example, if the parliament is really about doing the people's business, and you start parliament in the morning at 10 o'clock, what 10, 11, 12, and sometimes 1 and 2 o'clock in the night have a right to meet you in a parliament? You are discussing the business of the country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The people want to hear, know, and appreciate what's going on. And you are so out of order that it's not their business. It's all about you to pamper set. That when people are taking a night's rest, you still carrying on with your conversation as if people don't matter. I just said that by passing. I don't want to deal with that. What I want to deal with is what got me into a little tangle in the house yesterday. Many of you weren't listening. Now, they got up because they like to grab on to everything to big up themselves. And a gentleman, smart I think he was, gallantry and bravery in the Sanssouci waters went out and saved another young man's life by swimming out into the ocean on the door of an old fridge. And they recognize him. That's good. I was simply making the point that in any decent and respecting country, you would have, in the process of nation building, that at least once per year, and independence is one such good occasion, rather than just the parade on the parade day, where you recognize in your country all categories of Vincentians who have performed well during the year. Anything wrong with that? You give your best fisherman something. Your sanitation workers, your teachers, your police, your public servants, your business people, your nurses, your firemen, your young people. Whatever you're doing, there's pride, honor, and dignity in it. And you show that as a government, you value your people and that there comes a time and place in which they are recognized. That's all I was trying to say. He didn't like that. And you know why he didn't like it? He's a man of spite and malice and bad-mindedness and worthlessness. Because when NDP went out of office, John Horn of blessed memory, of this constituency of West Kingstown, had already accepted the recommendation of the Kenneth John Committee. I think people like Bassi was on it too. And they had designed a set of awards in St. Vincent to build local honors, to bring our people up and to have self-respect as a nation state. He brought them in the parliament and said he will have none of that. First he said, you can't do it. It can't be done. Only if you are a republic. Well, Jamaica is not a republic. And in Jamaica, there's recognition of the outstanding people, Bob Marley and others. Order of Jamaica, order of this, order of that, order of the other. Various categories of awards. Because that's how you bring a nation to be at peace and harmony with itself and build a nation state. We are one people and we are recognized when that time comes. He get up. I'll stop talking about his so forth. You ain't bullying nobody in this house today. And all I said, in Jesus' name, not you. Get you hence, Satan. Because I went to the parliament yesterday with a determination. Ralph Everett Gonzalez will not steal my joy. And I remained stoic and silent on that point and left him by the wayside. Maybe he was there helping to design the toilet that the girl spoke about. But I didn't finish there. And I'm going to speak about this over and over again. You see, this may not bring me vote. It may not bring Daniel vote. It may not bring Terrence vote. Or any other candidate for the New Democratic Party a vote. In fact, it may not even be of great interest for very many Vincentians. Because by and large, and rightfully so, you manage and measure the government by what it does for you in the basic needs of life. Did it provide me with food? Did it provide me with clothes? Did it provide me with shelter? With roads? With education? With security? With social security? Did it look after my well-being? And if you tick the box on many of those, you can award them a mark as being a good, bad, or indifferent government. That's reasonable. To measure and mark the things that you can see. Unfortunately, Daniel, we are missing one of the big responsibilities of us in opposition in the parliament. And it is this. To, one, defend the democracy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Don't take that lightly. Remember even though I don't want to highlight him, Jomo, when he was speaker, sat in the parliament and did not allow us to debate a vote of no confidence in the government. It made us the laughing stock of the world as being the only Commonwealth country that cannot use that instrument that is in all constitutions, that people can get rid of a government. If it doesn't perform, they can move a vote of no confidence and have a new election. So put that aside. The parliament also has other responsibilities. In the parliament, we are responsible for your money, for your taxes, for how it is spent or how it is not spent. I think, and I was supposed to give him a little chant when I came up here. Abby just said I taught him in school. That is true. He didn't tell you that of all the prize money winning clubs, he never bought me a drink yet. But I'm looking for him after this election. And he might say it's my time to buy the drinks. But that's all right. That's all right. But he made a point. He said a man spent $14 million of NIS money. Just keep the context that I'm talking about, SG. And after he borrowed the $40 million from NIS, he went somewhere else and got $40 million and paid back NIS. And he didn't call no name. No name, no warrant. Because Abby, while he could sing and sing well and compose well, he ain't in parliament to get the little privilege and the immunity. Well, I don't need privilege or immunity on this one. Because it is there, Abby, in the Hansard. It's in the Hansard. And it's in the audit reports. What Ralph actually did on that occasion is that he floated a bond. A bond is when you tell somebody, lend me some money and hold this paper. And if I don't pay back, you have this paper as evidence to carry me to a court and get back your money. That's simply what it is. But when he floated that bond, for those of you who are listening to me, especially on social media, the money he got never went into the consolidated fund. So that was a breach of the law. The money went straight to NIS. So that's the first breach. But the significant point behind that, Abby, is that once he borrowed money, you, the taxpayers, have to pay back that $40 million. So in essence, the money he borrowed from NIS had to be repaid to the INS and will be repaid from you. So you'll be paid twice, 3, 4, 5 times. You got the point? That's how he runs business. But I was in Parliament yesterday, and I want St. Vincent to flag this. I want St. Vincent to take a stand against it. Because this is what they fought me down for. This is what the Speaker of the House got on the floor and said, I'm on my feet, I'm on my feet. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Like if I'm some blasted little child with her. Well, my parents brought me up well. And I didn't want too much of commotion. So I had my say and I didn't sit down. But you know what happened? They have a thing. There's a thing in the Parliament which they call, you bring papers to the House and you lay a paper on the table in the House. So yesterday they did that. In fact, they brought 2 papers. This so-called papers that they brought in the House is essentially a financial statement. In the case of yesterday, the financial statement was about a company called Petro Carib. Are you with me? Listen, those in Radio Land and those on social media. That company, Petro Carib, is what facilitated, Brian, over $180 million dollars of money coming to St. Vincent through an arrangement, but never going into the consolidated fund. The money was spent in their whims and fancies without, let me say it slowly, without the lawful authority of the Parliament of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'm saying it here good tonight in Great House. It's a matter if and when they're out of office, they can be brought before a court of law for misbehavior in public office. That's a classic case. Just as is the case with the money from the NS, which did not go through and went straight into the NS. So, they didn't want me to talk about that. They want to shut me up. But the paper that they laid in the house yesterday was an embarrassment, because this said company, for which facilitated $180 million coming to St. Vincent government, the paper was now saying that the company is bankrupt, can't pay its debt. That's what the word no longer a going concern means. It's an accounting financial term. When a company is no longer a going concern, it means you cannot pay your debt when they become due. And the report of the auditors didn't stay there. It said if that company is to stay alive and to operate, the government will have to bail it out and pump money into it so that it can continue to operate. So just think about this. From being able to facilitate over $180 million, you now don't have a damn red cent of your own. And you're coming to ask the taxpayers to keep you afloat. Are you getting the grasp of what I was dealing with? That's what they're fighting me down for. And sit down. Today is not the time. So if you can't have that conversation or sensitize the public to what's happening, when will they know what that paper meant? Not this paper here. Everybody know paper here. He's a good paper. He's a good paper. He could sing, he in touch. You know, he pay a few people to play road march. And last week, did you write this song, man? Or is it take away somebody, woman? Or you play the organ for that? You play the organ, all right. But he's still a good man. You can't take away nobody, woman, now. Me and he the same. You know? But that's what was on the order paper yesterday. A company that was once bringing millions of dollars to us is now all of a sudden bankrupt and requiring the taxpayers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to keep it afloat. And since I can't ask it, debate it, under the rules as they said, that will become a secret. Now, tell me truthfully, how would you or your children or your grandchildren feel where some years from now, somehow or the other something came up, they say, wait, you mean Leacock and them being in the house and never talk about that? Won't you find me irresponsible? Huh? Tell me. We had a right to find a way, because what they're saying is that the only time you can talk about that is bring a question to the House of Parliament. Going to close just now. I thought it would have closed last night. Or wait for another budget session. Or see if when you're dealing with some other kind of legislation in the House, and then you'll understand that if you could depart from that bill and weave that into your conversation, in which case the same speaker then will get up and say, this is not the time and place for that conversation. So it's heads you win and tail you lose. We in the New Democratic Party have to make those decisions and judgment call. Do we sit there and take a dose of dumb and be complicit with a government that is and has been corrupt to the core. That's the issue that we want. And time will decide upon that. An election is coming. You need a Daniel Cummings who, like myself, takes no prisoners, tolerates no nonsense. You need to have in office a government under Dr. Friday that will be accountable, that will be transparent, and will not act unlawfully with your monies. That in and of itself is enough of a reason for you to go to the polls and in the way and tradition that he voted a decent representative in the late John Horn, or not too far away, Jerry Scott, and others, that you return your current representative to this constituency. Daniel is not the everyday run-of-the-mill politician. They tried in an outer place backhanded way yesterday to say that he calls himself an engineer, belittling an engineer. Well, with all the little things I know, me enjoy engineering. You know? Brian, the other man who sang a song on you, but Paige Vera and Brian with the hammer and so on and so forth. That's, the most I could do is, like you, nail a hammer and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. Let me leave you out of this. Anyhow, I want you to know that your Daniel Cummings, is the man who took the water authority, which not long before he came to office couldn't even pay its bills. Water authority was like that. It was in a poor state. It is your Daniel Cummings who put the water authority in this modern building that you have there. You heard him on radio today and say how he went to Fancy and brought water to the community there. And Daniel could go on because he's recognized across the region. His handiwork is there. And it ain't easy. Best landfill ever. It ain't easy to be an opposition politician in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To withstand the wickedness and spite. They closed down his business, his winery. He separated his family. Just as people in the vaccine mandate have suffered. They threw him down a step, damaged his back and his neck and his spine for life. And he has borne it for you and for me and for others. He's not asking for a reward. He's simply asking us at this time to do that which is right in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He's asking you to line up, to wise up, and rise up against a wicked regime. Because in this election, all they're doing, all the lumber, all the cement, all the galvanized, all the police recruits, all the pigs, all the chicken, all the planting, what the fritters, and I heard they brought fridge and stove and thing to the two. You know? All that they're bringing is to save their skin. Before I came on the platform this evening, I showed Terrence, my colleague. They have a school out in Adamsville right now for children from Union Island Secondary School. You know how many children in the school? 5. Imagine a school of 5. What are you doing that for? Huh? To look for votes in the Southern Grenadines? The Southern Grenadines, and I apologize for it, it's not like we had mainland St. Vincent. They're resilient, determined, and resolute. You ain't getting it from the $100 and $300. They stand by principle. That's why they're standing behind Terrence one more time in the Southern Grenadines. Tonight, in West Kingstown, I want you to be like those ladies who don't let Daniel go anywhere without them. Rita ain't calling the name, so don't get no frightened. because that is private. Stick with him. As the song was to stand by your man and return Daniel and the New Democratic Party to where we should have been quite a few years ago in government, delivering a better quality of life for you, the people of St. Vincent the Grenadines. Good night, thank you, as I make my way to Richland Park.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear it from Major again. Another stolen. Boy, the Major bad. NDP bad. Watch a team. At this point, we're moving on. And I want to bring to you a man, a struggling man, a fisherman, to give you some ideas as to the woes that is happening in the fishing industry. We know agriculture is in disaster. I remember the days as a custom officer when banana shipment was 2 days. Chuck used to line up all by Silky Place up all past high school. Line up with bananas. And from the time the man and them take over, you know what I mean? Banana gone. Agriculture gone. Everything gone. But we're going to fix it. We are going to fix it. We have the plans. We have the knowledge. And we have the competent people to make agriculture rise again and build our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to welcome Mr. Winsbott Harry, President of the Fisherman's Corp, to let you know how school keeping. Ladies and gentlemen, Bug!
Good night, Great House. Good night, Great House. I really want to thank MP Cummins to give me this opportunity as a young man, real and grew up in Rose Place. Tonight is a great night for us, the people of West Kingstown, to have a man like Daniel Cummins who has been in and out of this constituency. I get on board and join this wonderful team, the NDP, because as a fisherman and being the president of the national organization, I see the NDP is the party to carry the fishing industry forward. I must say, being the president of that organization, and I represent all of the fisher folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For the last 4 years going, we have seen the spitefulness that is handed down to the fisher folks of this country. I want the fisher folks of this country, the fisher folks' children, the housewife, to listen to me very carefully. You have to put your X next to the NDP to keep your father business alive. Our local fishing industry is being taken away from us day by day. For instance, if you look at the development in Kingstown, which is the port modernization project, a fishing community of Rose Place was totally destroyed. Over 152 fishermen lost their income. We had 68 boats down there, and out of that 68 boats, 20 of the boat owners sell the boat. They also went on the eastern side and dredged out the sand. The fisher folks in Calaqua, up to today, they cannot even catch a pound of fish where that sand was dredged out. There is no lobster there anymore. Fishers in St. Vincent, we have to take back our local fishing industry. Since they displace or remove the fisher folks from Rose Place, they take us down there to Lowman's Bay. I know you, the people of Great House, used to enjoy Lowman's Bay, and I know some of you can say now you are not enjoying Lowman's Bay as how you used to enjoy Lowman's Bay. But I know with Daniel Cummins and the NDP, you, the people of Great House, and the fisher folks from Rose Place that is down there will enjoy Lowman's Bay when you put your X next to Daniel Cummins and the NDP. We have at least 68 fishermen down there. We have over 100 boats, simple as you see it down there. And I must say thanks to our MP who keep going in the House of Parliament and putting the question to the other side. And when we get the answer, we know the fate of the fishing industry is in failure. I listen sometime when there was a celebration when they say there's nobody living with a pit latrine. But how could you have 68 people on a beach for 3 years without a single washroom? Some of us have to run over, include myself sometimes, to use the beach as a way to ease yourself. There are many fisher folks in St. Vincent, including the fisher folks in Union Island. We have over 158 fishers was affected in Union Island. Just about little over 100 boats. But today, the fisher folks down there was promised income support, production support, and what they give them is some scrums. So the scrums that they give them, they are not able to buy fiberglass, matting, and even to help themselves to get an engine to put on the boat to go back in the sea. The fisher folks in Bukomen, you see a police vehicle come and lock up a seine and throw it in a van. You see, in Richmond, where the persons used to go and harvest the tree, is now a quarry in that area. Fisher folks of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and fisher folks of West Kingstown, if we do not put the X next to the NDP, our life, we will be walking on foreign boats. In Clay Valley, we have at least 70 fishermen there with at least 45 boats. There's not even a single washroom for the fisher folks in Clay Valley. If you look at the condition that the fisher folks are living into in Caliacua, you have to ask yourself, what is going on in this country? It is a war against us. And we have to fight this war with the X at the polls and vote out the ULP. This is our time. We, the fisher folks of this country, have been suffering for the last 3 months. Not even the minister come and say what he's going to do for the fishing industry. My next point I would like to touch on, and you the fisher folks who are listening to me on social media, there is a legislation that will affect our life. This legislation will determine the way forward, and it will be a debt towards the local fisher folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We, the fisher folks, has been calling to see the copy of the draft. And up to today, the fisher folks in Zone 1, not even the national organization, have a copy of that draft. I am really staying with the NDP team. And tonight, I want to say that you cannot put your X for a lady that you only seeing on Facebook and doing YouTube video. You have to put that X next to Daniel Cummins and the NDP. In closing, I want to say to all backsliders who backslide from the NDP, come back to the NDP. There is room in the NDP for you. And with that room, come and join us in Victory Day when the bell is ring. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's hear it again for Bug. Yeah, he made some great points. Something I want to bring to your attention. The way how concessions work in a country. Government give certain privileges to companies when they come in with the expectations that they are going to hire people, create employment. And I remember there's a company that deals with fish and etc. Some forest, name some forest something. And rain, forest and rain. And they were given concessions so they could buy fish from the local fishermen and employ people and so on. And I heard recently that they have been given permission to sell fish on the local market. That's a travesty of justice. How could you give a company concession and the company turn around and competing with the local people and selling thing retail? Give the concession to the local fishermen and let them build themselves. Build our local Vincentian. You cannot grow an economy without getting ordinary and local people involved. Let people get a higher standard of living. An NDP government will look towards things like that. If you violate your concessions, out goes you. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a video, a clipping on Facebook, where a young lady was saying that the people of the Southern Grenadines would want to vote for somebody who is in cabinet. I know this gentleman from the Southern Grenadines has been there being voted over and over. I spent 3 years in Union Island and I met him on several times down there. He gives proper representation. And because he is so loved, what they are doing is suffering Grenadines people, hoping that by some miracle that he would not succeed at the elections. But it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I have great pleasure in welcoming the elected Member of Parliament for the Southern Grenadines, Mr. Terence Oliver. Let's hear it for Terence.
Somebody said Dr. Friday. Dr. Friday. Oh yeah, we wanted to run this country for we. Dr. Friday. Oh yeah, we wanted to run this country for we. More jobs for the youths and them.
Yeah.
Raise the pay for the policemen. Raise the pay for the nurses them.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. You almost tempted me to dance, so I had to cut you short. Chairman, Mr. Cummins, we have our treasurer, Luan. Well, Major was here, as you know, in Major style, he did his thing. We also have other members of the executives and to you, ladies and gentlemen, I say good night. Let me hear you, NDP people. Good night. You know one thing, it is great to be in Great House. In support of my colleague, Daniel Cummins. I will say it again, it is great to be in Great House. And I know you, the people of Great House, will stand solidly behind Daniel Cummins. Because I have learned that politics is not about fame, fortune, nor popularity. It's about service to people. And I can guarantee you that Daniel Cummins will give proper service as he continues to do to you, the people of West Kingstown. You know, Mr. Cummins served at the highest level as a civil servant. And he transformed the CWSA. And there is no doubt he has been working to transform the lives of you, the people of West Kingstown. And once in government, I'm sure that you will have a constituency that can be compared to no other under the leadership of Daniel Cummins. Because that is the man and the services that he brings to you. You know, I also want to say to you, second thing, have no fear. Do not worry. The slogan is, the choice is clear. The voting Olivier. And in the Southern Grenadines, you can guarantee and put your pot on that one of the seats coming home for the New Democratic Party, it will be the Southern Grenadines seat. Because one thing, the people of the Southern Grenadines, we are resilient. We know what is hardship. We don't change our mind, we change our clothes. And we know who brought us out of darkness. We know who made sure that the people of the Grenadines saw some form of development, and they are not going to leave that for a little handout and a little penny, and don't care who you bring from radiology or hospital or wherever you want to bring them. The people of the Southern Grenadines going to stand clearly behind the New Democratic Party. So you could say whatever you want to say. Preach whatever you want to preach. As a matter of fact, the young lady said something to you. She said, too long in that. Vote for the New Democratic Party. So it seems that she and all wants to vote for the New Democratic Party. We don't mind. Our tent is big enough and we welcome everybody. And I'm saying to you, the people who are supporting the ULP, you have seen the hardship that you have been under. And it's time for a change. And it's time to make sure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is on the right footing. And the only way you can do that is to vote solidly for the New Democratic Party, the leadership of Dr. Friday, and the wonderful team that we have put together with experience and also youth to make sure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines move into the right direction. You know, in Parliament, I ask a question concerning subjects and passes and levels and all of that. And they keep thumping the chest. Yes, St. Vincent and the Grenadines improve in CXC, and I'm glad for that, because we want our country to go forward. But when you listen to the report, if you listen carefully, you would realize that the passes in mathematics is 33 or 34%. No, not 38, 34.33%, something like that. And if you listen carefully, you would also realize in some schools that there are subjects where the school receives less than 30% passes in any particular subject. And in some subjects, and I'm saying to you, even though we may boast at some schools that the result is high, in other schools they are suffering. And it's time that you, the people of this country, do something better and support the New Democratic Party so that we can re-engineer our education system to take care of the needs of all our people. We have said to them, and as a matter of fact, when I listen to Dr. Antoine, he's the chief man at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and he said that skills are very important. CARICOM made it mandatory so that skills, since 2007, that skills can be taught at all secondary schools. We recognize that when some children leave school, they don't know what to do. They cannot find a job because they lack the skills that is necessary to get these jobs. After Hurricane Beryl, the Minister, I think, of Housing said that they cannot find people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the necessary skills to work on in the constituencies that were affected, because you know why? Skills is not part of our curriculum, and it's time we give our children the fighting chance and the opportunity to be men and women of this country who will be able to take the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and transform it. So you're not only looking at academics, you can leave school with 6, 7, 8, 9 subjects and also certification in 2 or more skills in order to take care not only of yourselves but also of your country, and also, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that we are on the right footing. And this has been what the New Democratic Party has been saying for the longest while. But because we said it, you're not listening to us. And you're taking our children and pushing them in every little nook and cranny hole here and there to try to learn something. Whereas these children can leave schools with the necessary certification. And you got the people out of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago who can do the certification of our young people and make sure they're in good stead to take our country forward. But what do you do? What did you do? Beryl affected the Southern Grenadines, and you try to encourage everybody to leave. Come up to mainland St. Vincent, we have schools here for you. But more than a year after Hurricane Beryl, those people who are in the temporary shelters on mainland, some of them cannot go back home. You know why? Because the government did nothing at all to take care of these people from the constituency of the Southern Grenadines. So they are up here. The new school term. You say you want to start a school. You want to continue school. You started with either 12 or 13 students. When parents realize that nothing is happening, they transfer their children, 12 or 13, to other secondary schools. Some went back home to Union Island, and now you have a whole secondary school with 5 children in it. Tell me if that makes sense. And you know why you have that? Because you didn't take care of the needs of the people. Back home, build a little house or build anything. Yesterday I asked them about the prefabricated houses. They said they're importing 300 in phases. But when you listen to the area that was mostly affected, at least 96 or above of the houses affected, you know you're telling me you're only building so far allocated 5 houses to Union Island. 5 prefabricated houses in Union Island. And as a matter of fact, 1 foundation is being built and you scratch the area for the other house. And say possibly, you have a possibly 4 for Myro, which will start at a later date. And then you didn't say anything at all about Canawan. And when I asked, well, how many houses you're bringing in all? You want to say they're coming in phases. This is how you are looking at an area that was gravely affected by a hurricane, the people devastated, the morale low as ever, and you as a government trying to trample on the people to try to give little handouts here and there. And I'm saying to you, the people of mainland St. Vincent, please, get it clear that it's time for you to remove the Unity Labour Party, because what happened in the Southern Grenadines could have happened to you on the mainland, and you would have been in the same situation, and we cannot tolerate that. So children are there, suffering on the mainland. I remember 5 children in a school. You have 5 farms. I don't know if it's 1 in farm 1 and then 2 in farm 2, and must say none in farm 3, or whatever amount you have in farm 4. 5 children in a school. Can you really equip that school with the teachers and resources that are necessary to improve the lives of those children? And all because you refuse to take care of the needs of their parents on the mainland. So if you refuse to take care of the needs of the parents by building the houses in the Southern Grenadines, how much so you think they're going to take care of the needs of these 5 children in the school? Come on, it's a burning shame, and we must do better. And that's why I say to you, it is time that you give the New Democratic Party the chance to transform St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because we have a bright new leader, Dr. Godwin Friday, who has more than ever proven that he's more than ready to take St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the next level. Your representative, Daniel Cummins, is ready to transform these constituencies. There are other candidates on the New Democratic Party team, and we have proven ourselves. We are capable, and we are more than ready to take St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the next level. And we are depending on you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to do so. Great House, can be a great place. Serviced by a great man, Daniel Cummins, and by a great party, the New Democratic Party. You just have to put your faith in us and say to the New Democratic Party, we are willing and ready to get behind you to transform St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I have been in politics for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I didn't even finish university. I was still in university when Sir James came to me and said, I've been going around to the people of the Southern Grenadines asking. And they said, you. I said, me? He said, yes, you. They have called on you. And I have answered that call. And I'm here and ready to take my place in government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And to show you, the people, not only in the Southern Grenadines, but on the mainland, what the New Democratic Party is all about. And I want to say to you, the people, remember to vote with your memory card. And I will tell you why you must vote with your memory card. Because under the New Democratic Party with Sir James Mitchell, this country moved forward, both mainland and the Grenadines. And so, with a new government and a new NDP, we're going to see the dawn of a new day where St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be transformed. It will be transformed because we are ready. We have been in the wilderness long enough. And we have learned what it is to serve people. We're not here to be popular. We're not here for fortune. We're not here to build up ourselves. But we are here to build you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we are ready for that task. We are more than ready. The young man spoke about the fishermen in Union. Okay? And who said they were going to help them out and give them a little thing for their livelihood. Some of the fishermen had to go to bank to borrow a loan to get the boats and all the equipment ready. Yet they were giving out little handouts only to a few persons, while most of them were there suffering and still suffering under the hand of this wicked government. And it's time we get rid of wickedness in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and make sure that the government that you vote for will be for all the people. That is what we are about. All the people. We are not looking at a few, but we are looking to transform the lives of every single Vincentian. Whether you are in school, whether you are at work, whether even the elderly. Because even now we have a shelter. Look at what happened to the people from the Grenadines who are on the mainland. I was told this morning, Mr. Oliver, there's some people in temporary accommodation. And they have to go either today or tomorrow to throw them out. I said, no, they can't throw them out anyway if they have no way to go. This government or whoever cannot throw them out. You have to find place to put them because they're not there because of their own deeds. They're there because of a terrible storm that came to us. Okay? So it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I am appealing to you as somebody who came from politics of an early age and saw what has been happening in this country in opposition. And I'm saying to you, it is time to elect the New Democratic Party because we have a great team and we have a cadre of good people who would make sure that that your lives and the lives of your neighbor, when they knock on your door, you have no other word to say than put out the thing, put out your key and say, I am for the New Democratic Party. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Let me hear it again for Mr. Oliver, man. Let me hear it again. That was very passionate. That is the kind of representation you could look forward to under an NDP government. Ladies and gentlemen, watch your team. Goodness gracious. At this point, I want to bring you the man who is well loved in West Kingstown. He has been championing our causes. for a very, very long time. And you could imagine when he formed government, what is going to happen to West Kingstown. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great pleasure in welcoming the waterman, Mr. Daniel Cummins. Let's hear it.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Hear me now. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear? Come on, Christians, step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Step on the enemy, step on the enemy. Crush the serpent, trample the dragon. Under my feet, him under my feet. Under my feet, say him under my feet. Yeah. What we do, Christian?
Good night. Great House, good night. Tonight, I want to say a very good evening to all the people who are able to hear my voice from this beautiful part of West Kingstown called Great House. Tonight, as I speak to you here, our great party is having another very important meeting in the constituency of Mariquah. It shows that we are a team with a purpose and a mission. Tonight, my mission here is to talk to the people of Great House and surrounding areas on matters of particular importance to you. We in West Kingstown, at the last election, started the process of what we call village meetings. And in these meetings, we come to you in every part of the various constituencies and focus on the matters that affect you where you are. And that is what this meeting is about tonight. You heard the president of the Fisherfolk Corporation talk to you about the disgrace that is this government. But you don't know that even as our fishermen and fisherwomen are suffering, the Minister of Agriculture in Parliament yesterday boasted about maintaining the ability to ship fish, to fly out fish to the United States. But he didn't tell you that in all of 25 years, they have done nothing so you can get fish from St. Vincent, go to the lucrative market of Europe, especially the French territories. They came into government 25 years ago promising that they will solve that problem. And after 25 years, these bloody clowns have done absolutely nothing to that. But they go in Parliament boasting about being able to continue to ship to the United States. The lucrative market is the French territories and Europe.
You can't set a thing in fish from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The minister also boasted about having intensive discussion with the fisher folk about the legislation he wants to introduce. You hear the fisher corp leader tell you that they have not even seen the damn document up to now. How could you talk about consultation with people about something that you keep in secret from them? That is ULP for you. That is Ralph for you. That is a bunch of clowns for you. My people, you have to reject this bastard set of people. Their focus has nothing to do with your interest. They don't care about you. If they cared about you, after each election, they would have been coming and implementing the 1,000,002 promises that they make to you election after election. But where are these promises? I want to take you on a little journey through this part of the constituency. As picturesque as it is, this sufferation, as it is called, is immense. When the New Democratic Party established the main infrastructure in this community, putting concrete roads throughout the main sections and linking it with Camden Park, the layout of this area going all the way back to the stream that links you with Body Gutter is a most beautiful housing area with 2 sets of parallel streets below here and a lot of streets at right angle. This government has done in 25 years absolutely nothing to continue the work started by John Horn with respect to the road system here in this beautiful part of our constituency. You know, Trini, not far down from this gap, he could tell you about the promises they've made to him year after year, election after election, about fixing those roads. When the road crew comes to trim twice a year, they don't even bother with where the people live down there. We have a plan to finish all those village roads in Great House. We will make sure that you in this community have proper access to your homes. Great House, I know your pain. I know that many of you built your homes below this main road. And for you to do that, you have to dump the Rabica and the sand quite up here. And you have to pay people to take it down for you. In the process, you lose a lot of it. And you have to pay twice as much. I know the pain. If they build these roads, the vehicles can come right at your gate and deliver those supplies. If you get sick in the night, you can hardly get yourself out. How can the ambulance come to find you and get you help? Well, getting you help is another thing because you don't want to go to what they call hospital. My people here, the road from Great House going straight down was built many years ago, linking this community with Lowman's Bay. A very beautiful scene. Beautiful scene. Towards the end of it, we had some lovely forested areas. These people have deliberately gone and destroyed a significant portion of that magnificent forest overlooking the forestry headquarters. They don't care about your future and your children's future. The forest is not something that you destroy wantonly. The forest plays a very important part in retaining the climate in the area. It has impact on how your rainfall pattern will continue or disappear. But they don't care about these things. They just do things because they want to help some of their own people for whatever reason. This is not a country about ULP and NDP. This is a country about us. Tonight, Great House, I want to make a pledge to you, as I do to all of West Kingstown and my beloved home country. When the new Democratic Party gains the rulership of this blessed land, that division that was brought on by the Chief Clang in 2001 will evaporate. St. Vincent and the Grenadines will become one again. We will work in the interest of all the people of this land. When I speak like this, I want you to understand me. You have seen me coming into your community for nearly 20 years now. Nobody could ever accuse me of putting anyone into any political divide. I visit, I work with, and I help everyone who I can, so long as I have the reason to believe that the case is real. You have seen it right here in Great House. I have seen an example where I tried to help a young lady to help herself without discussing any party politics whatsoever with her. And just for that, that family put that young girl, the matriarch of that family, the mother of that young girl, put her out of a home because she was speaking to me, and I gave her a little help to improve her life. My dear people, that kind of madness must stop. That kind of madness must stop. We are Vincentians. We have a right to support the political party of our choice. That is the fundamental aspect of our democracy. We must be free to support the political party of our choice. And we must never have another government that will pay public servants to spy on the population of this country, on the workers of this country, and punish them because they suspect they're not supporting the government. That is not how a democracy is supposed to work. That is not their money. The ULP does, well, they have money. And I want to show you something as I digress a bit. Pay attention to this. I want you to look at how long it has taken these clowns in government to fix the girls' high school. Our premier girls' secondary school. Your children have to suffer in some wooden shacks on the old tarmac where fleas and rats and dogs are molesting them. But look next to the high school on the same side of the road, not just past the NDP headquarters. There's a red ugly building in town there. See over the last few months how quickly they built another beautiful building there. Red with all kind of symbols. They can invest in themselves, but they can't invest in your children in providing proper schooling for the premier girls' secondary school. There are children who are going to graduate and never see the halls of the prestigious girls' high school because of King Klong and his team here in this country. We must put an end to that and allow your NDP government to bring back sanity to our education system. Great House, there is too much to be done in your community. The late, great John Clark Horn made it possible for so many of you to own a home, to own a piece of land, to be able to build your own house by keeping the price of cement down for nearly 15 straight years. They refuse to allow anybody to increase the cost of cement. They never put VAT on Rabaca. Your NDP government then, when you started your foundation, they came, made an assessment with you and helped you by providing with some blocks, by providing you with some windows. And as you continued, they gave you some of the galvanized and so forth. You got together with your villagers and contributed the labor. Most of the beautiful homes are built without ever going to a bank. That's how it was done. That is the housing that I am very proud of the NDP for, because we revolutionized housing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines all over this country. In Diamond, they laughed at us when we made the lands available and people start putting up the most magnificent structures. The people across the dry river, Sir James Mitchell opened up the lands, some of the most fertile lands, bought them and give them back to the children and grandchildren of those who slaved on those estates. What these clowns have done, took away a lot of the lands for themselves and for their friends. Worse than that, under the NDP, we put in an irrigation system, world class, no pumping, 2,000 plus acres of land with a system that is called fertigation. That is to say, not only you applied water, you also applied fertilizer in liquid form. But it was so efficient. It was a drip system that liquid went close to the root of the plant at the timing and the intervals ideal for maximizing growth and potential. But what did they do? When they came to government, the irrigation system was under the control of the CWSA. I know, I was there. I brought it in the CWSA. But the King Klong, one of the first things he did was to take away irrigation from the CWSA. And what happened? At the first rainfall event, a little damage happened to the system in the river. Did they repair it? No. They left the intake broken and they allowed people to steal all the lines, all the equipment over the 2,000 acres of prime farmlands. You want to tell me that these are people who care about agriculture or care about you? That irrigation system helped the people in those areas to produce the biggest bunches of bananas that this country has ever seen. It enabled them to do 2 and 3 crops a year of different produce when they could hardly do one because of the dry season. That is what the irrigation system did. Listen, I can speak to you like this because I know firsthand. I was part of the design and implementation of this magnificent irrigation system. And Ralph Gonsalves, I will call your name tonight. You must take responsibility for the destruction of that magnificent irrigation system, because it is your insistence, it is your wickedness, it's your spitefulness that took away the irrigation system from the CWSA that caused the total collapse of that magnificent system. And this country will never forgive you and your family for that, because your plan was clear. When you see how farmers who are doing so well, building their own homes, sending their children to university, buying vehicles with cash, you heap scorn on them. Farmers ain't have no right for own 2 and 3 vehicle and have big house. That's how wicked and nasty and spiteful you are. That's how you are. You have demonstrated it over and over. But the people know that Dr. Friday cares about each and every one of us. Dr. Friday is a man who has walked and will continue to walk throughout the length and breadth of this country. The purpose is simple: to meet people at all walks of life, to have conversations with them, to listen with them, to see what can be done from their perspective and from ours with a view to enhancing their lives. Great House, I have had the privilege of representing you in the Parliament, and the time is coming soon. The time is coming soon. Your choice is clear. In some constituency, I hear people talking about who is on the other side. In this constituency, I am not aware that whatever or whoever is on the other side is worth my attention. I focus on the people of this constituency. My allegiance is to you. My job is to know your needs and to serve you in the best way I can. And I don't take this responsibility lightly. All I want to say to you, Great House, West Kingstown tonight, let us put aside the political divide. Let us understand that all of us can be on one side. Let us go forward, do what we have to do, encourage people to do the right things, but don't hate anybody. Don't, I beg you, don't push out people who want to come back into the fold of this new Democratic Party. Because this is the only umbrella that looks after all of our people. If you push them out under their rogue leaders now, they can't find food. If you don't allow them to come under the umbrella, there will be no hope for them. We must think about everyone. We must go forward as a united country. It's the only way we can get the best results. People have a right to choose. People do make mistakes. When they've seen the way and they want to correct it, welcome them with open arms. Let us build a better St. Vincent and the Grenadines under the leadership of Dr. Friday and this magnificent team. Great House, this is the third in a series of meetings that we're having. The next meeting, and we're going forward on Tuesdays. The next meeting, we're moving to Upper New Montrose at the roundabout. And there, you will hear our proposals specifically as it relates to that part of the constituency. We have a lot of work to do. We have been studying these plans for a long time. You hear the national programs talking about how we're going to get our economy going. You hear the programs talking about the pillars of our economy. Tourism, agriculture, the new economy and the blue economy. You hear from the fisher folk about how this so-called government is hell-bent on destroying the fishing industry. Grenada, with a smaller sea space, makes significantly more than we do from fisheries. The Otley Hall Marina is at the cornerstone of our development. It is one of the best conceptualized projects ever to come to this country. A facility that can repair yachts, especially mega yachts, that can repair all the fleets that move cargo between St. Vincent and the rest of the Caribbean. Instead, you've heard Louis Mitchell tell you that to simply do a repair on one of those ferries is over $100,000 because you have to take it all the way down to Trinidad and have it lay up for months and then bring it back up. We will bring back Otley Hall. We will bring back quality employment for hundreds of our people. We will finish the entire design, which include the small hotel there, so that when the yachties have their yacht being repaired, they have a place to rest their head and a restaurant they could find quality food and a world-class supermarket. That was a magnificent plan. But because it's an NDP plan, these criminals destroyed it completely. NDP will restore it and bring back livelihoods to hundreds of people in Otley Hall and surrounding areas. Your task is simple, my brothers and sisters. As the time grows near, and you know, time has a funny way of reacting. A certain man can't get his belly come down. He can't get his belly come down. But as time starts to wrap around him like a twine, and less time available to maneuver, it's not only belly can come down, a whole lot more. He has to ring the bell, and you will make him end the spell. You will show him that you're not dotish. You'll show him that you deserve better, you want better, you know better, and better is NDP. Vote for the key. Make sure you're registered and do your part, and rest assured, Dr. Friday and his magnificent team will live up to the promises we continue to lay before you, because they don't come out of the sky. Our plans we have been working on for a long time, and we're deadly serious about all we tell you. Great House, it's a pleasure being here with you. I want to thank my colleagues, Major and Terence, for joining us tonight. I want to assure you that my next door neighbor, Nature, is doing duties in Mariaqua. We continue to function as a team. I want to thank most especially our very hard-working General Secretary, Brenton Smith, who is one of us here in West Kingstown. All the members of this party, Harvey Farrell, his assistant, you know, is part of the West Kingstown posse. The chairman tonight, West Kingstown man, served this country diligently, especially in the customs. A man who stood up for what is right in the exercise of the duty he swore to undertake as a custom officer. And for that, he became persona non grata. My friends, it's better to die for what you believe. Stand up for truth and justice than to fall prey for easy money, because easy is that road, but hell is the end of it. Stand up for what you believe in. Chairman, I salute you and all of the others, especially those public servants who said to the big belly clown that that jab has not been tested, has not been proven to do any good, and you're not taking it. And you sacrifice your job. And I remind you, Dr. Friday, he doesn't make promises lightly. The day we win, you get back your job. Great House, you've been a nice audience. And those of you who are hearing in your homes, thank you for listening. May God continue to bless us. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Tell me whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Tell me whom shall I fear?
Let's hear it for Daniel. Wonderful presentation. Mr. Cummins, it is only fitting that I ask you to thank your constituents for this wonderful turnout tonight. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Abby. Chairman's prerogative. You know, I said at the beginning, sometimes those who are viewing online may tend to ask, how come Cummings only have a few dozen people at this meeting? I want to make a very important point. No. Listen. We in the New Democratic Party, we are a team. You will notice that I hardly put any news of this meeting in the public domain. I did it very deliberately because I intended for us to come here and talk to you, the people in Great House, about matters related to you. And when I look at what is happening in Richmond Park tonight, I feel so overjoyed at the large crowd that is there and the significant hundreds of people who are watching Dr. Friday and others on the live up there. So, Chairman, this meeting is not about who is here or who is not here. This meeting is about the people of West Kingstown and Great House, and in particular. And I know they have heard the message, and those who have come have enjoyed the presentations. Thank you very much, and let us continue to rally around the great cause that is this great party and our great leader for the great future of a people, all of the people of this country. And there's one gentleman in this audience who I have to single out for his tremendous work, what he's trying to run. He is known as paper, but he's very strong. That's the kind of paper you can't tear. He has been behind the scenes, assisting this party in meetings, night after night after night. I wonder sometimes if he gets to sleep. You know? So, paper, thank you very much, my brother. I know your commitment to this party is strong. I want to thank Monty for assisting us with the live. And of course, the genius behind all of this production. You know, these people are so shy, you know, they don't even want. No. We are in the New Democratic Party. We are so blessed to have world-class people working with us, for the people of this. Put your hand together for the production team, friends. Thank you very much. Good night.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We would get into some music, some entertainment now from the DJ. So DJ, nice up the people.
Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty God. I will see